Hello, folks. I'm going to teach the first lesson of history, that is nationalism in India. It is one of the most important lessons of the history book. It is a compulsory lesson. It is usually taught as the first lesson. Okay, before moving on to this lesson, can you tell me the meaning of nationalism? Nationalism means love for your country. It means patriotism. But nationalism also means identity and sense of belonging. Okay, and we can have nationalism by having identity and sense of belonging. So, in this lesson, you're going to learn about Congress under Mahatma Gandhi trying to bring all the social groups together, trying to bring all the groups together under one movement. So, Mahatma Gandhi fought for independence with a great difficulty, not with ease. So, in this lesson, you're going to learn about some of the important movements of Mahatma Gandhi. Okay, and Indian nationalism, independence movement, the independence movement for nationalism was fought against the colonial rule. When British came to our country and established the rule, all the Indians had feeling of nationalism. And Mahatma Gandhi was a great personality who started independent movements against the colonial rule. So let's look at the economic and political situation during the First World War. During the First World War, there were severe economic and political situations, that is after 1919. See, there was high defense expenditure because of war loans. Okay, there was high defense expenditure. The income tax was introduced and the price of customs duties were doubled, and people were forced to join the army from villages. The people from villages, people living in rural areas, had to join the army even if they don't want to. Villages were supposed to supply soldiers, and there was a problem of crop failure resulting in shortage of food, and there was yet another problem of influenza epidemic. People were suffering from influenza epidemic. So the economic and political situations during the World War was that there was high defense expenditure. The country had to pay a lot of money for the war. That's why they took war loans. An income tax was introduced. People were forced to join the army. The prices of customs duties were doubled, and there was a acute problem of crop failure resulting in shortage of food. People were suffering from influenza epidemic. Next, the idea of satyagraha. Mahatma Gandhi returned to India in the year 1915 from South Africa. He was practicing law in South Africa. He pursued his law degree from England, and then he went to South Africa to work as a barrister, lawyer. And Mahatma Gandhi started a novel method called satyagraha to fight for independence. So, according to Mahatma Gandhi, satyagraha emphasized the power of truth and the need to search for truth. Satyagraha means power of truth and search for truth. According to Mahatma Gandhi, people can win a battle only with non-violence. If you're violent, you cannot win a battle. You cannot fight against your oppressor by violence. If you want to fight against your enemy, you should be non-violent, peaceful, and you should convince your oppressor or enemy. You can only win against your enemy only by non-violence, not by physical force. That will only unite the Indians. He started 3 satyagraha movements. The first satyagraha movement was in 1916. In 1916, he traveled to Champaran, Bihar, to inspire the peasants.
It's 10 o'clock.
Against the oppressive plantation system. So Mahatma Gandhi traveled all the way to Champaran, that is in Bihar. He told the people to start the Satyagraha movement against the dreadful plantation system. See, the peasants of Bihar, Champaran, were forced to grow indigo. They were only supposed to grow indigo. So Mahatma Gandhi inspired the peasants of Champaran, that is in Bihar, to start a satyagraha movement. This occurred in 1916. In 1917, Mahatma Gandhi organized a satyagraha movement to support the peasants of Kheda district of Gujarat. The peasants of Kheda were forced to pay revenue. Okay, and they had also the problem of plague epidemic. The peasants were forced to grow. The peasants were forced to pay revenue, and they could not pay the revenue because of crop failure and plague epidemic. Okay, so Mahatma Gandhi supported the peasants of Kheda, Gujarat, who were forced to pay revenue, but they could not pay revenue due to crop failure and plague epidemic. And then he started the third Satyagraha movement in 1918. Mahatma Gandhi went to Ahmedabad in support of cotton mill workers. He started the Satyagraha movement for the cotton mill workers in 1918. Rowlatt Act. Let's see what is the Rowlatt Act. Okay. In 1919, Mahatma Gandhi started a nationwide satyagraha against the Rowlatt Act. See, according to Rowlatt Act, according to this act, the act gives the government a lot of powers to repress political activities and detention of political prisoners without trial for 2 years. That means if you go against the British, you will be arrested for 2 years without trial. So it brings down the the political activities of the people, and anybody who fights against the British, they will be detained, they will be arrested for 2 years without trial, without being produced in the court. The British government tried to clamp down the nationalists. Okay, there was outrage on the part of the people. On 10th April, police in Amritsar fired on peaceful procession, which provoked widespread attack on banks, police, post offices, railway stations. Martial law means military law was imposed, and General Dyer took command. So Rowlatt Satyagraha was started by Mahatma Gandhi. There was this act called Rowlatt Act, which was passed by the imperial legislature, and he was really unhappy with the Rowlatt Act. According to the Rowlatt Act, it brings down the political activities of the people, and people can be arrested without trial for 2 years. Mahatma Gandhi went on Hartal on 6th April. Rallies were organized in cities, workers went on strike, in railway workshops and shops were closed. Okay, and then on 10th April, police in Amritsar fired on peaceful procession, which because of that there were attacks on banks, police offices, railway stations, and martial law was introduced by the General Dyer. Let's see what General Dyer did. Jallianwala Bagh. Jallianwala Bagh is a very popular, it is one of the famous incidents of history, because in Jallianwala Bagh many innocent people were brutally killed. Around hundreds of people were brutally killed by General Dyer and his men. So Jallianwala Bagh happened on 13th April. A large crowd gathered in Jallianwala, where people came to protest against government's new repressive measures. All the people came to Jallianwala Bagh. Okay, Jallianwala is a garden. They wanted to discuss about the repressive measures of the British government, and they also came to celebrate the annual Baisakhi festival, to attend the Baisakhi fair. General Dyer blocked all the exit points and opened fire on the crowd, killing hundreds of people. So General Dyer killed hundreds of people in Jallianwala Bagh when they came to discuss about the British laws, and they also came to attend the annual fair. After the Jallianwala Bagh incident, people became angry. They went on strikes, they clashed with the police and attacks on government building. So after the Jallianwala Bagh incident, there was violence everywhere. That's why Mahatma Gandhi called off the Satyagraha movement against Rowlatt Act. Mahatma Gandhi was against violence. So when this movement became violent, when the Satyagraha movement against Rowlatt Act became violent, he called off the movement. So the Jallianwala Bagh incident occurred on 13 April 1919. People had gathered there to attend the annual Baisakhi fair and to discuss about repressive measures of the British. General Dyer blocked the exit and opened fire on the crowd, killing hundreds of people. People were really angry. There were strikes and clashes with the police. Mahatma Gandhi decided to call off this movement after violence erupted. Khilafat issues. Okay, Mahatma Gandhi wanted to unite the Hindus and Muslims. So he decided to take up the Khilafat issue. See, that would bring Hindus and Muslims together. After the First World War, the Ottoman Empire in Turkey. There was an empire called the Ottoman Empire in Turkey. So when Britain defeated Turkey in the First World War, the Ottoman Empire lost its powers. In March 1919, a Khilafat committee was formed in Bombay. In September 1920, Mahatma Gandhi convinced the other leaders of the need to support non-cooperation movement in the support of Khilafat for Swaraj. See, when Turkey lost against Britain, the rule of Ottoman Empire in Turkey was lost. Okay, it was necessary to bring back the rule of the Sultan of Turkey. Okay, and he was a spiritual head of Islamic world. So a young generation of Muslim leaders like Muhammad Ali and Shaukat Ali, okay, they came together in support of non-cooperation movement and Khilafat movement, and also for Swaraj. So Mahatma Gandhi decided to take up the Khilafat issue to bring Hindus and Muslims together. Mahatma Gandhi said, if we support the Khilafat issue, we can unite the Hindus and Muslims in India. What was the Khilafat issue? The Sultan of Turkey lost his powers after the First World War because Turkey lost the First World War against British. In March 1919, Khilafat committee was formed in Bombay. Mahatma Gandhi convinced the other leaders like Muhammad Ali and Shaukat Ali, okay, to start non-cooperation movement and Khilafat and support Khilafat issue. Then only we can get Swaraj. Non-cooperation movement. Okay. Mahatma Gandhi wrote a book called Hind Swaraj in 1909. Okay, according to Mahatma Gandhi, British people started ruling in India only with the cooperation of Indians. So we should not cooperate with the Indians. The non-cooperation movement is proposed in stages. It should begin with the surrender of titles that the government awarded, boycott of civil services, army, police, courts and legislative councils, schools and foreign goods. After many difficulties and campaigning between supporters and opponents of the movement. See, some people supported the non-cooperation movement and some people did not support the non-cooperation movement. Finally, in December 1920, the non-cooperation movement was adopted. Mahatma Gandhi started the non-cooperation movement. Mahatma Gandhi wrote a book called Hind Swaraj in 1909. According to this book, we should not cooperate with the British. We are cooperating with the British. That's why they are ruling in our country. So these were the stages of non-cooperation movement: surrender of titles awarded by the British government, boycott of civil services, army, police, courts, legislative council, schools and foreign goods, Okay, some people supported this movement, some were against this movement, and this movement was adopted in December 1920 in Nagpur. In Nagpur, okay. Next, different strands of the movement, okay. And in January 1921, the non-cooperation Khilafat movement was started. Many social groups participated in this movement. Middle class participated in the movement. Okay, there was a great participation from middle class. Thousands of students, teachers, headmasters left government controlled schools and colleges. Lawyers gave up legal practices. In order to take part in this movement, students, teachers, headmasters, they left their government controlled schools and colleges, of course. Leaders gave up their legal practices, and the economic front of the non cooperation movement was that the production of Indian textile mills and handlooms went up, but people started boycotting foreign goods. The economic front was like this: foreign goods were boycotted, liquor shops were picketed, foreign clothes were burnt in huge bonfires, and the merchants refused to sell foreign goods. So economic front was like this: foreign goods were boycotted, liquor shops were picketed, foreign goods were burnt, and the merchants refused to sell foreign goods. They discarded foreign goods. They said only Indian textiles, Indian textile mills and handlooms will be there to make only Indian goods. We will make only khadi with the help of Indian textile mills and handlooms. Only Indian goods will be made. Boycott of foreign goods. But this movement was slowed down. Let's see why this movement was slowed down. Because khadi was very expensive. And see, many teachers and students left the schools that were run by the British government. There was no alternative Indian institution. That's why, okay, the teachers and lawyers, they joined back their jobs. They trickled back to their jobs. They joined back government. The lawyers went back to government courts, and the teachers went back to government schools for work. Okay, so this movement slowed down because khadi was expensive, and there was no alternative British institution. Students and teachers got back to government schools and government courts respectively. Let's see how was the non-cooperation movement started by the peasants. The non-cooperation movement spread to the other countryside. Peasants and tribals were developing in different parts of the country. The peasants started the non-cooperation movement against talukdars and landlords, who were the landlords were demanding high rent and other cesses, high rent and taxes, okay, from the peasants. It demanded, see, the non-cooperation movement was started by the peasants because they did not want to pay high rent and taxes. They wanted to reduce revenue. They wanted to abolish begar. Begar means to work for somebody free of cost. They wanted to fight against social boycott of oppressive landlords. And there is one great personality who played a key role in starting the non-cooperation movement for the peasants, that is Baba Ramchandra. He was a sannyasi. He was an indentured laborer. He used to do begar in Fiji. He used to work for free of cost without any payment. Okay, the non-cooperation movement started because the peasants were really fed up of the high taxes and rents they were paying to the talukdars and landlords. They wanted to abolish revenue. They wanted to abolish bekar. That means working without payment. And the social boycott of cruel landlords. Jawaharlal Nehru in June 1920 started going around villages in Awadh to understand their problems, grievances. Jawaharlal Nehru started an organization called Audh Kisan Sabha. It had 300 branches. Okay, and he started this Audh Kisan Sabha with the help of Baba Ramchandra. In 1921, the peasant movement was spread. The houses of talukdars and merchants were attacked. The peasants became really violent. Bazaars were looted, grains were taken over. The non-cooperation movement was started by the peasants. Okay, Baba Ramchandra, he was a sannyasi movement. He supported the non-cooperation movement by peasants, and the movement spread everywhere. The non-cooperation movement was started for peasants because they did not want to pay high rent and taxes to the peasants. They wanted to abolish revenue and begar, and they were against the social boycott of landlords. So Jawaharlal Nehru went around in Awadh understanding the problems of people in Awadh. He started an organization called Awadh Kisan Sabha. It had 300 branches. He started this with the help of Baba Ramchandra, and many peasants became really angry. They burned the houses of the talukdars and landlords, and the bazaars were looted, grains were taken over. So, yeah. And next, non cooperation movement by tribals. It happened in the early 1920s. See, this non cooperation movement happened by the tribals in Andhra Pradesh, in the Guddem hills of Andhra Pradesh. The tribals in Guddem hills of Andhra Pradesh started military guerrilla movement. See, the non-cooperation movement by the tribal occurred in Guddem hills of Andhra Pradesh because the tribal people were not allowed to go to forests. The forests were closed down by the British. So these people protested against the British because they were not allowed to go to the forest to graze their cattle, to collect firewood and fuel. So Alluri Sitaram Raju, he was a folk hero. He came over to help the tribals to launch the non-cooperation movement. He claimed that he had special powers. Alluri Sitaram Raju said he had astrological predictions. He could survive bullet wounds. He considered himself as an incarnation of God. Alluri Sitaram Raju was a supporter of Mahatma Gandhi. He convinced the people to give up drinking and wear khadi, but he did not believe in non-violence. He was captured and executed. He was killed in 1924. So the non-cooperation movement by the tribals occurred in Andhra Pradesh, Guddem Hills. The tribals were not allowed to enter the forests for grazing the cattle and for collecting firewood and fuel. And this movement was supported by Alluri Sitaram Raju. He said he is an incarnation of God. He can survive bullet wounds. He can heal people. He has astrological predictions. Okay, and he was a supporter of Mahatma Gandhi. He told the people to give up drinking and wear khadi. So he worked. So the peasants they started protesting against the British, and the peasants launched the non-cooperation movement. The peasants of Guddem Hills, okay, attacked police stations. They tried to kill the British officials, and finally, Alluri Sitaram Raju was captured and killed in 1924. Non-cooperation movement by the plantation workers in Assam. Okay, the non-cooperation movement was it was launched. The non-cooperation movement was launched by the plantation workers in Assam. The plantation workers in Assam had to work in the plantation gardens. They were not allowed to go out of the plantation gardens. Okay, they did not have the freedom to travel in and out of the plantation gardens. For plantation workers in Assam, freedom means rightly moving in and out of the plantation garden. They wanted to retain a link with the village they had come. Some plantation workers were forced to work in the plantation gardens. They were not allowed to leave the plantation gardens. Under Inland Immigration Act 1859, the plantation workers were not allowed to leave the plantation garden without the permission of the British officials. When they heard of the non-cooperation movement, they ran away to go home and headed home. But they were caught by police. They were brutally beaten up. They were stranded by steamers They were caught by railways and steamers. And Mahatma Gandhi called off the non-cooperation movement. He started the non-cooperation movement with high hopes. He called off the non-cooperation movement because of the Chauri Chaura incident. Okay, the angry mob, the angry people, okay, murdered police officers, they clashed with police, they opened fire, they even burned the police stations. So the Chauri Chaura incident took place in February 1922 in Gorakhpur in Uttar Pradesh. That's why Mahatma Gandhi called of the non-cooperation movement. So I'm going to repeat the points. I'm going to give you a quick recap of the lesson. Nationalism in India. The Indian independence movement was started by Mahatma Gandhi and his followers against the colonial rule. Nationalism means to have a common sense of belongingness for your country. The economic and political situation during the First World War. During the First World War, people had to spend a lot of money for the war. There was high defense expenditure, war loans were taken, income tax was supposed to be paid, the customs duties was supposed to be paid, it was doubled. People were forced to join the army. There was the problem of crop failure, shortage of food, people were suffering from influenza epidemic. Mahatma Gandhi returned to India in 1915. He emphasized on satyagraha. Satyagraha means power of truth and search for truth. Only if you are non-violent you can fight your battle. He started 3 satyagraha movements. One was in 1960, Champaran, Bihar, against the plantation system. The other one was 1917. It was for the peasants of Kheda, Gujarat, who were forced to pay revenue to the British. And the third one was in 1918 for the cotton mill workers. Mahatma Gandhi started the Satyagraha movement against the Rowlatt Act. The Rowlatt Act was passed by the Imperial Legislature in 1919. According to the Rowlatt Act, it brings down the political activities of the Indian nationalists. It see, anybody who goes against the British, they will be arrested for 2 years without trial. Detention of the prisoners without trial for 2 years. The government tried to bring down the activities of the nationalists. On 10th April, the police fired peaceful procession. People attacked banks, post offices and railway stations. General Dyer imposed the new military law. Martial law means military law. The Jallianwala Bagh incident happened on 13th April. Many people had gathered there to discuss about the unfair British policies, unfair laws, and to celebrate Baisakhi. But they were fired by General Dyer and his people. Hundreds of people were killed. Many people became angry after this incident. They had clashes with the police. They started strikes. People became really violent. That's why Mahatma Gandhi called off the Satyagraha movement for Rowlatt Act after the incident of Jallianwala Bagh. Khilafat issue. Mahatma Gandhi said we should unite the Hindus and Muslims. How can you unite the Hindus and Muslims? Let us support the Khilafat movement. And what is Khilafat movement? After the First World War, Turkey lost against Britain. The Sultan lost his powers and Khilafat committee was formed in Bombay in March 1919. Okay, Mahatma Gandhi said if we support the Khilafat movement to bring back the powers of the Sultan in Turkey, then we can have unity between the Hindus and Muslims. So he convinced leaders like Muhammad Ali and Shaukat Ali to start the non-cooperation movement. It will also support Khilafat movement. Then we can attain Swaraj. Non-cooperation movement. Okay, Mahatma Gandhi said we should not cooperate with the British. We are cooperating with the British. That's why they are establishing the rule. It had stages like surrender of titles, boycott of civil services, army, police, courts, legislative council, schools and foreign goods. and many people supported and many did not support this movement. Finally, in December 1920 in Nagpur, this movement was started. Okay, many people from middle class, students, teachers, headmasters, lawyers started this movement. The economic effect of this movement was that foreign goods were burnt, foreign goods were boycotted, liquor shops were picketed, merchants refused to sell foreign goods, people will only use Indian mills and handlooms. Okay, and why did this movement slow down? Because khadi that is produced from Indian mills, it was expensive. There was no other good institutions, there was no good Indian institutions that can match up to the British institutions. There were no other alternative institutions, and many teachers got back to the government schools for work, and many lawyers got back to the government courts. They got back to their work. They resumed to work. Non-cooperation movement by peasants was started by Baba Ramchandra. He was Baba Ramchandra was an indentured laborer in Fiji. Baba Ramchandra was a sannyasi. He was an indentured laborer in Fiji. The non-cooperation movement was started in Awadh. Awadh is in Uttar Pradesh. The non-cooperation movement was started in Awadh against landlords who were demanding high rents and taxes from the poor peasants, and it was started to reduce revenue. Abolition of Begar. Begar means working for somebody without payment, and it was against landlords who were taking high rent, high revenue, and high taxes from the people. It was started in Awadh. Jawaharlal Nehru supported this movement. He started the Awadh Kisan Sabha. It had 300 branches, but the peasants became violent. They attacked the houses of the landlords. They attacked bazaars and looted grains. The non-cooperation movement was started by the tribals in Guddem Hills of Andhra Pradesh. The tribals were really upset because they were not allowed to enter the forest. The forests were reserved by the British. Alluri Sitaram Raju helped the tribals to launch this movement. He said he had special powers, but when the tribals protested against the British, they protested, they attacked police stations. Alluri Sitaram Raju was captured and executed in 1924. And plantation workers in Assam started the non-cooperation movement. When they heard of the non-cooperation movement of Mahatma Gandhi, they ran away from the plantation gardens. They were not allowed to leave the plantation garden. They ran away from the plantation garden to go home, but they were caught by police and they were badly beaten up. Mahatma Gandhi called off the non-cooperation movement after the Chauri Chaura incident in February 1922. The angry people attacked police stations. They murdered many police officers. So Mahatma Gandhi decided to call off this movement. Thank you so much.